Yes. Have you ever given a speech? If there is anyone who has ever given a speech, we're going to ask them to share with us. Trevor, have you ever given a speech, a formal speech? How about Imelda? Any volunteer, if you've ever given a speech, just raise your hand and share with us
Yeah,
how the
I have
experience was.
ever.
I
Trevor,
have
which
given.
function was it?
Huh?
What was the
Sorry?
occasion? What was the occasion?
It was a campaign.
Oh, okay. So you were asking people to
Huh?
vote you. You were asking people to vote you into power.
Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Do we have any other person that has ever given a speech?
Yes,
Yes.
teacher.
I am interested in your experiences, TJ. What was the occasion?
Madam, it was at some function.
Oh, you were
It
speaking
was a
like on a
wedding.
wedding, eh?
Yes, yes.
That's nice. Let me see. Any other person that has ever given a speech?
Yes.
What was the occasion, dear?
It was a speech while welcoming the bishop.
Oh, wow. Are you sure?
Yes.
And you gave a speech?
Yes, I did.
Was it recorded? Is there any place where we can find it and see how you spoke in the presence
That
of a
she's
bishop?
lying. That she's lying.
Julia,
I'm not lying. Yes, teacher.
Julia,
was
you're
it
lying.
recorded? Is there any place where we can find it?
Yes.
Okay, we shall talk about that off air. Now, remember,
Yeah, maybe she's in a different school.
okay, people, um, back to our topic of discussion. You know, as part of your study content, sometimes you'll be required to write a speech. Have you ever got such an assignment in school?
Yes.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss the format of a speech. We are going to do two things. We are going to discuss the format of a speech and also plan to give a sample speech, a very small speech, not so big or not so long. We are going to give a speech. So what are the things that you consider when they ask you to write a speech? If you know something, you raise your hand and share with us. If you're in an exam and they ask you to write a speech, where do you start from? I have Emmanuel going first. Thank you.
Yes. When we are going to write a speech, we start by observing the protocol. Observing the protocol, it means that we saying people according.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. But is that exactly where you start from when you open your page? What do
It's
we
better
write?
when we start.
Sorry?
Hello?
Emmanuel. Yes,
Hello?
Emmanuel, you're still talking?
Like I was saying, when you're writing a speech, there is what we call observing the protocol.
Yes, yes.
People, we are having the
Friends, can we please mute our microphones? Let me first see the people present and people that are not muting their microphones. Let me first mute Nubs. Okay, back to you, Emmanuel. So sorry about that. So you're saying we start with observing the protocol. I agree with you, but then there is something else that comes before the protocol. Julia, do you have a clue?
Madam, you start with the title before the protocol.
Oh,
Then
yes, TJ, we start with a title. Thank you very much. Now, TJ, what is in the title?
But excuse me, teacher. Teacher, I think you've gone far. Writing a title about what? Is that like, is that what is it that I should come first into your mind? I think they're lying to us.
No, they are not lying, Julia. They are giving their opinions, and we're here to correct one another. So when someone says you start with a title, I agree with them. However, you will have read the question, and then you will be knowing what they want you to write about. So in your title, TJ, we go back to you. As you're writing your title, what are those things that should not miss in your title?
you must first read the question. That after reading the question, you get the main words in the question.
Okay,
Then
so you will go like a speech about.
A speech about the campaign, let's say, like it is for contesting for a certain post.
Okay.
Then you pick the word contesting and the post you're contesting for. So those are the main words.
Yes, and
Then
you must
also
indicate the person giving the speech, right?
you must indicate, and it must be again in the capital letters.
Yes. Thank you very much, TJ. I like that. When you're giving your speech, you start with a title and you indicate what it's about. This is a speech about dash given by so and so. And it is even important that we indicate maybe the date and venue. Yes. If they say we are in the main hall, if we're assembly grounds, I mean, you just need to put a venue, the person giving the speech, what it's about, and the date. Those are the most important things you must have in your title. And like TJ has said, put it in photos. And then now we go to Emmanuel's point, observing the protocol. How do we observe the protocol? Starting from who to who? Do we have any person that wants to clarify on that? How do we observe the protocol? Observing the protocol means recognizing the people present. But in which order? How do we do it?
Madam, like if you're observing the protocol,
Yes, please.
you follow the hierarchy of the peoples around. Like let's say it's for the school, you start with the headmaster if he's present, or if the director is there, and start with the director. You say the director, then the headmaster. Then let's say it's for the commission, then you say the chairperson, the electoral commission, the directors, the director of studies, and the non-teaching staff, which is for the school, then ladies and gentlemen. That's how I think you little.
Yes, I love that. And that's correct. Thank you so much, TJ, once again. So when we are giving a speech, we start from the highest in the hierarchy to the least maybe important on that day. If you're giving a speech in school, there is a head teacher, deputy head teacher, we have the teaching staff, we have the students body. And now, like TJ has said, to avoid situations where you've forgotten a group, you end your protocol with ladies and gentlemen. Oh, very nice. And where do we go after that? You've observed the protocol. Where do you go?
Madam, you go after the
Madam, try.
introduction. After
Yes, people.
after the political, I think you go in introduction. You introduce yourself, maybe the class if it is for the school, and you introduce the post maybe if you're campaigning. I think so. That may be the introduction.
Now I have a question for you. You mean you don't greet people?
Shall we greet?
Yes, salutation follows.
Yes, yes, thank you very much. After that, after observing the protocol, then you will go to greetings, and it should be a formal greeting. Don't write for us in your exam, hi guys, hello. That will make it wrong. You must give a formal greeting. Priscilla, can you give us an example of a formal greeting? Priscilla, Ruth?
Okay, madam, you can say good afternoon or good morning or good evening.
You can say?
Good morning. Good evening.
Yes, yes, thank you very much. You can say good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. That will give you an extra mark because you will show that you know how to greet people in a formal setting. You have to be keen. If it is clear in the question or scenario, then you'll pick that exact time given. If it's not clear, any of the three timelines will do. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening. You leave it at that. Whose hand is up? Is it Julia?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Julia. Hmm.
So after giving the protocol, can't I say I greet you all?
Yeah, I greet you all is not very informal, but I would rather you say good afternoon, everybody.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Yes. Thank you for that question, Julia. Julia, just
Yes,
to go
teacher.
back to that, it is much better for you to say that than hello, everyone. Good morning, guys. Hi, guys. Hello. No, no, no. In a speech, a formal speech, you must greet people formally. Someone saying, I greet you all is okay, but it is much better for you to say, good morning, everybody, good afternoon, everybody. I hope that's clear. Well, now, you've greeted people well and good. Some audiences will respond, others will just expect you to continue. So after your greeting, what do you add? What do you add? Even before I go to this slide, I'm very impressed that people know these things. So where do you go after that? Yes, Ruth?
You introduce yourself.
Very good. Ruth, how do you introduce yourself? Can you give us an example of how you would introduce yourself?
Okay, like you start with your name.
Mm-hmm.
And like in a school status, you in case you're addressing any assembly, you start with the name, maybe your class.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And Priscilla, how would you say your name? Would you say people in my hometown call me Priscilla Ruth? Would you say I am known by this name? How do you introduce yourself formally?
Okay, you say I am called Elaine Priscilla Ruth, like that. Then you mention your whole name.
Okay, you can even say my name. My name is Priscilla Ruth. I've mentioned this to avoid people who say my names are. You have one name. It could be a combination of different words that describe you, but all that combined together is a name. So it is wrong for you to say my names are. The best way to put it is my name is, then you mention your full name, like Ruth has put it. Julia, your hand is up once again.
Yes, teacher. I'm by name Zo.
No, 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 I don't love that. I'd rather have my name is. You see, by the time you end your phrase, you've given us something that is so incorrect. By the names. Remember, we said you have a name, not names, right?
Yes.
So it is better for you to play it safe and say, my name is. Put your name. My name is Julia Rovine. My name is Apio Cynthia, and I am the chairperson of this school's council. Or I am the youth coordinator of Katakwi district. You introduce yourself and your capacity as given in that scenario.
Madam, what if you say I am called this?
Yes, most times when you're doing this, go for my name is.
Madam,
Is that
madam, excuse me, teacher.
please, Julia?
Yes, teacher, standing before you is it okay?
Oh, standing before you is Julia Robine. Depending on your setting, sometimes you will be in a community. That's okay. But if we take you to State House to give a speech to the president, I don't think that would be impressive. You sound a bit informal, and yet we have another option like my name is. So you will study your setting and know where you can say standing before you. Maybe if you're asking for votes, that captures the attention of the audience and that passes. So I will leave that to your discretion depending on the audience you're addressing. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Imelda?
Madam,
Yes, dear.
I am called. My God, you so, but that's not your real name. Might think you have to say my name is
Yes.
settled.
Thank you very much for that submission. Don't say I am called. Some people will always call you things, but for you, what do you think your name is? My name is Apio Lucy. Good. And we move on, and you have your mark. If it's for exam purposes, if it's for just introducing yourself, then people know your name and there'll be no questions, no biases, no nothing. So let's always keep it. My name is. It is the safest thing to do for self-introduction. Okay. So now that we moved up to that level, I would like to I don't know who's. Let me first mute someone here. I would like to share this slide and then we maybe write down these things in order and then we go through them in just a few seconds. So here we are. We said we are going to look at how to write a speech or giving a speech. So the format of a speech. Let me see. Imelda, kindly read for us what you see on your screen.
What I see on the screen is format of a speech. Title,
Title, topic, greeting, self-introduction, body.
introduction,
Okay, can we spare a moment and write these in our books? If you have a book or somewhere where you're writing these things, you can take note. If someone has just joined us, we agreed that when you're writing the title, you will have to indicate what. What are you writing? Is it a report? Is it a speech? Is it a memo? No, today you're writing a speech. A speech. People, can we kindly all mute our microphones?
What does take home?
Just a moment. Let me first mute Grace. I think he's the one causing us noise. Okay, I've muted Emmanuel. I think he's the one that has been causing us noise. All right, I apologize on his behalf. So let's go back to this, and I'm going to explain each and everything in this slide. Okay, so we agreed that you write your speech starting with a title. In the title, you indicate what are you doing. I am writing a speech about the causes of maybe pollution in our environment, delivered by the head prefect of Kamu Kamu Secondary School on the 24th of July at the school main hall. So we said you write a speech, indicate what it's about, indicate the person that gives the speech, where and when, depending on the question given or the scenario. Then you move to your first paragraph, which will be observing the protocol. When you're observing the protocol, you're basically recognizing the people present. Now, this is where we gauge your understanding of the scenario given. If you're writing about the causes of HIV, maybe in your gathering, you would have like the Minister of Health. If you're talking about school dropouts, we expect you to have maybe the district education officer, the head teacher, and maybe other people. If you're giving a speech in a community, we expect you to recognize the chairperson of that locality and other leaders, the youth, the people present, the elderly, like that. We expect you to observe the protocol by recognizing the people present, starting from the highest in the hierarchy to the lowest. And just because you might not remember all the people there, it is very good for you to end your protocol with ladies and gentlemen. Actually, when we are marking your work, there is that extra tick when you put ladies and gentlemen to show that this is a formal setting, and maybe I've not remembered all people. So ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. You have greeted the audience. Wonderful. After that, you introduce yourself. This is also another point where we use to see that we use to see people that have understood the question. They have given you an example and they say, assuming you're the youth counselor. Now in your self-introduction, if you forget to put that, then some marks will be taken away from your coherency. Yes, and giving relevant information. So you need to introduce yourself by name and status or position. Yes, if you're representing someone as it is presented in the question, please also indicate it here. My name is Apio John or maybe Lucy. I am the chairperson of the youth committee in Katakwi district, but today I am speaking as I represent someone, maybe representing the minister of health. If it is in the question, you must indicate that the kind of capacity given to you in the question in self-introduction. Now in the body, you must indicate your point of discussion. What are you talking about? Are you appreciating someone? Like in our activity that we're going to do today, this is your time to shine, to talk about what they have done, to talk about the different that are presented to you in the question. I mean, give your body sufficient work. You can give at least 6 paragraphs for you to have all the marks for the content if you're writing. Then someone had even asked about take home. Your take home is like that message, the final message, your conclusion as you're giving this speech. How have you concluded? I would like to conclude by urging all of you to take part in patriotic acts, because that is what defines us. The love of this nation is what defines us. So I thank you very much for listening to me. I've said all this for God and my country. Like, you package your message very well and give people something to go home with. Maybe your slogan, together we can. Yes, united we stand, divided we fall. You can give people your take home, your last message they'll go with, to remember that even that body or the kind of message you've already given them in your whole speech. So that is the format of a speech. Do we have any question before we go to our assignment?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, dear.
Yes, please, teacher. I would like to help me with the difference between the protocol and greeting. Imagine we had this: the head teacher, the deputy head teacher, the school staff, the students' body together with the students' fraternity protocol observed. My name is. Remember, I've jumped out the like greeting. So I want you to help me with the protocol and greeting. So isn't that right?
You know, Julia, when you have observed the protocol, you don't have to say protocol observed. You just mention the people in their categories and end with ladies and gentlemen. It will naturally even lead you to a greeting. How
Yes,
about that?
yes, teacher. Thank you, teacher.
You don't have to say protocol observed, yet you have observed the protocol. It is some kind of mistake. So observing the protocol means you have recognized all these people. End with ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And then you introduce yourself. Is that clear?
Thanks.
Do we have any? Yes, okay. Do we have any other question before we move on?
Yes, teacher. Teacher.
Hmm.
So like maybe yes, we are having together with the administrators present. Then should I say protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. Just like
No. What have you said?
protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. Just
Without, you want to speak without actually recognizing the people present?
teacher protocol. Why haven't you heard I've said the protocol?
So you want to put all the people in protocol observed. Good morning.
Gentlemen, protocol observed. Is it right?
You know, when you do that, it's like when you're giving a speech and somebody has already observed the protocol. Maybe you're speaking after someone. So you don't want to go through the repetition of mentioning the people in their hierarchy again. That's how that phrase comes about. But if it is only you giving this speech, maybe representing all the youth, we expect you to actually observe that protocol.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Okay. Do we have any other question? All right, all right. So let's go to our scenario and see what we can do about it in the remaining time. Yes, here we are. Oh, sorry. Julia, kindly read for us this scenario.
Shall we are having an assignment?
I'm joking, it's here.
Julia?
Yes. In your
Are you
community?
there?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
thank you.
In your community, Heavy floods are threatening to destroy lives and property and even submerge homes. A certain youth courageously rescues people by carrying them on his back to safer places. An act of patriotism you consider worth covering. Unfortunately, there is no media coverage. All members of the community decide to hold a function to celebrate this patriotic act of the youth mentioned above. Since you are the youth representative, you are chosen to give a speech. Prepare a well-deserving speech you will give on the function.
Yes. Do you think this scenario is clear? Yes, Julia?
Yes, teacher, I think.
Okay. So I am going to give us 5 minutes to prepare, and we give a speech. I'll be very glad if we can get like 3 people to give us a speech following the format we have agreed on. And I'll be very glad if you can use some adverbs. For example, we already have courageously in the question. It doesn't hurt for you to bring it back in your speech. You can even find other adverbs that we covered in the previous lesson and even in today's lesson review, and you put them in your speech. I'll be very pleased to hear you give a speech while making good use of adverbs and following the format that we have covered in this lesson. So we have 5 minutes of preparation. You're giving a speech on such a function where we are celebrating this young man who has been courageously carrying people on his back to safer places when we have floods. When you go to your body, kindly indicate the kind of patriotic acts that people in this community can take part in to avoid such occurrences. I want you to give a really, really good speech, and then shall call it a lesson. 5 minutes of preparation, and when you're ready, you just need to raise your hand. Let's try to keep our microphones muted as people concentrate on this activity.
Teacher, please, can we have the question back?
Oh, have you been writing it? I thought we were through, and I didn't want to have people raise their hands before. Okay, let me put it back for people to concentrate on the question. Kindly keep the microphones muted as people concentrate on producing their work. Okay, here it is. People, I'm hoping that we are through with the assignment so that we start on the presentations. Who is going to go first? And this is the most important part of this lesson where people use their generic skills. I want to see people who can speak confidently, people who can talk coherently, people who can make presentations in an amazing way. This is the most important part of today's lesson, which is the last segment this afternoon. So if you're ready with your speech, you just need to raise your hand, and the more people we have presenting, the better for all of us. Julia, do you want to go first? Julia? Isabella, should we expect a presentation from you? How about Joan, Alinda? Ethan, Victor, Trevor, Louise. How about Emmanuel, Priscilla, Ruth? I can't wait to listen to your presentations, all of you. We have Nora, we have Nams, we have Goodness, we have Martha, Nicole. I mean, we are giving a speech. There is this young man that has been rescuing people in your community, and you think he's doing a patriotic act. So we are holding a function to celebrate him. And since you're the youth counselor, you've representative, they have chosen you to give a speech on that function. What will you say? Depending on the format we've agreed on and making good use of adverbs. Julia, we are expecting that you will give us the exemplary presentation. Let us know when you're ready. Julia, are you there? Please unmute and respond if you are. TJ, I expect a presentation from you as well. And maybe any other person that has been preparing to present to the class. TJ, will you be ready in like 3 minutes after Julia?
No, someone's coming first, please.
Yeah, let me try.
How about Ruth? Julia, you're saying something, but I can't hear you. people that have been asking about the question, I've put it in the chat box for us to keep tracking it. Someone has asked about the format. Let me also put that slide there. Okay, here we are. Okay, Julia,
Yes, teacher.
are you ready?
No, teacher, let someone go first. I'm not ready yet.
Okay. Let me see. TJ, you promised to come second. If you're ready, you could just give us your speech. TJ, are you set? I think TJ is offline. Trevor. Trevor, are you there?
Madam. Yes, I'm
please.
here.
Are you ready with your speech?
Not really.
How many more minutes do you need?
I'm not sure, but let me see.
Okay, it's good. Please work on the speech. You will give it verbatim. You don't have to write it. Just prepare your points, how you will deliver them, depending on the format given and what we have discussed today and what you think can be talked about on such a day where we are praising this young man that has been carrying people on his back to safer places when we have floods. Also prepare a message for the people in your village. Yes, tell them what they can do to avoid that. How about working on the littering? How about keeping the drainage patterns exclusively used for taking water, not garbage, not polythene papers? You know, what can they do to alleviate that? How about harvesting the rainwater? Can we get some tanks and take off some of this water by harvesting it? What that means is you put a tank near your house, put a small uh, drainage tunnel that will be taking the water into your tank, and you use it instead of having this water go into the streets and flood our community. There is something we can do. So I want you to talk to these people and encourage them to be more patriotic and encourage them to do something that will make a difference. Well, the function is to praise this young man who we should know by name from your speech. Choose any name and then present it to us. Priscilla Ruth, would you be willing to come number 3 after Julia?
Yes, teacher, I'll try.
Okay, that's good. It's very good for us to all give it a try. Let me see. Emmanuel, would you be ready to be the 4th presenter? Emmanuel is not saying a thing. How about Isabella? Isabella, can we rely on you to be the fourth and last presenter for this lesson?
Teacher, I doubt.
Why? You can't give us. Yes, Isabella.
I'm not that much of a public speaker.
I wish I still had time and we see how far this can go, but I'm very sure you can make a presentation. How about Ekite? Ekite, can you make a presentation or you are not ready? Okay. So Julia, we had agreed that we would have TJ come first, but I think TJ has gone offline. So still the mantle is with you. You're going to come first. Then we shall have our second presenter being Isabella. Julia, please unmute. Our time is fast spent. We have already gone past required time, but since we lost time at the start, those that are willing can stay on and then we do this last assignment. Julia, please unmute and tell us what you have. Apart from the two mentioned people, do we have any other person who is preparing a speech? So that we know who is coming up for the two girls, Julia and Isabella. Julia, are you ready?
So let Bella come first.
Okay. Isabella, is that okay?
Teacher, I cannot.
Why? And Trevor has also gone off, so I don't know.
Madam, I'm still here.
Oh, Trevor, are you set? Can you please give us your speech?
Please let me be the third person, maybe.
Trevor, we are relying on you to be our first presenter. Who can go first?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Teacher, is it a must that we must present to the Friday?
I wanted us to have maybe like two people for us to have an example of what it would like as other people go to prepare. We have like this exemplary speech. That's what I'm looking for.
Teacher Friday. Auntie, you see the problem is, teacher, every time I'm thinking, you're like, time up, so now.
You're on pressure.
Yes.
Okay, so Julia, here is what we're going to do. Take us through your introduction. Then maybe we can have the body in our next lesson. How about that?
Network off.
Oh, Julia, I thought you give us the title, yeah, observe the protocol, read, and maybe introduce yourself. Even Trevor thinks it's a nice idea.
Yes, let Trevor do as I also continue.
Okay. Trevor, please give us your intro so that we know how to start in our next lesson.
Okay, let me try. Uh, okay, the title is a speech at the function of the celebration of a certain youth who courageously rescued people by carrying them on his back to safer places during the flood. To observe the protocol, the LC1 chairperson, the cabinet members, the elders of the village, the community members at large. Good afternoon. My name is Enyamarisa Trevor, the youth representative of, of the community. Sorry. Oh, I've missed something, madam.
Please, what have you missed?
Something here. The protocol side here.
What did you miss?
Okay. Okay, it's okay. I've got something here.
Okay.
Yeah. You were saying from, okay, the title, protocol, greetings, then self-introduction, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me try again.
Have you started? You can start again, and then you can maybe say something briefly about the body as we prepare to give more presentations in our next lesson.
Okay. A speech at the function of the celebration of a certain youth who courageously rescued people by carrying them on his back to several places during the flood. To observe the protocols, one, the cabinet members, the elders, and the community members at large. Good afternoon to you. My name is Anyamaricho Trevor, the youth representative of Moipi. So the reason why we are here today is to celebrate the courage one of our youths took to rescue people during the flood, the heavy flood, which was threatening to destroy lives and properties. He courageously saved people, carried those who aren't able to rescue themselves to safer places, which has shown where he has shown his extreme love for the people of the community Oh, the line is good. Okay.
Okay. Thank you
Madam,
so much, Trevor.
I
People,
think so.
you think you're
Welcome.
still developing your work, right?
Yeah,
People,
it's
wherever we
not
are,
that
let's
well
give Trevor a
developed.
hand clap. Trevor, you've done well. Trust me, you have done well.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for that beautiful trial. And I'm very sure even people who didn't know what to do, at least now know where to start. So with that example given, I am going to ask Julia one more time. Would you like to give us your presentation, much as it's not complete, just like Trevor has done.
Let me try.
Thank you very much. I like that.
A speech on the patriotic acts
And Julia, just like in Trevor's presentation, feel free to mention. I said you can give this youth a name. Yes, you can say a speech on the patriotic acts done by Kuala Nicole. Speech delivered by. Make sure you indicate the person giving the speech, the venue, and date. That will give us a good example as we prepare to give other speeches in our next class.
a speech on the patriotic acts done by Matthew Semakula. Today, the function of appreciation of him, the courageous youth who rescues people by carrying them on safer places after the heavy floods threatening to destroy people's lives.
Julia, before you progress, I'm going to suggest that we keep our title a bit short. Those details can be given in the body, okay? So maybe you indicate that this is a speech given by the youth representative about a courageous man that has saved lives you put the name of the community, speech delivered on 24th July 2023. Then when you go to your body, that's when you will give the details of how he has been carrying, rescuing, doing everything patriotically or courageously, single-handedly, because remember, we need adverbs in your work. Okay, one more time, Julia.
A speech by the youth representative held on the youth. A speech by the youth representative on the speech by the youth representative on the patriotic acts of the courageous youth held today on 24th August 2014 in Lianyad Village. The LC5
Wow, thank you. Continue.
The LC5 chairperson, the environment manager, the LC3 secretary, together with the humanitarian body. Dear ladies and gentlemen, a good morning. My name is Reverend Julia, the youth representative of Lianyad Village. It is such a great day and honor that the Lord has mercifully blessed and endowed to us to incredibly witness the patriotic acts of the young youth, Semakula Matthew, who has unfathomably extended his generosity through rescuing the people of Lianya who have suffered from the floods. The floods have come about as a result of the endless rains. Sorry, it's not like that. It is such a great day and honor that the Lord has blessed and mercifully endowed us to incredibly witness the patriotic acts of the young youth, Matthew Semakula, who has unfathomably extended his generosity through rescuing the people of Nyanya village. This has come out as a result of the continuous rains that have led to floods. These floods have extremely and vehemently affected us all as the people of Lianya due to the unpatriotic acts that we majorly do in our community. That is to say, the poor disposal of garbage, the settlement in swamps, together with so many acts that have led to floods. Teacher.
Yes, please.
My bag is empty.
But you have done so well. People, can we give Julia a hand clap? Because this is very nice. And I am very pleased that you have it written, because even when you went back to it, I could tell that you have the same wording. So you have done us so proud. Don't even doubt yourself, Julia. You have done so well. Now you're going to develop it. And the next time we have a lesson, we shall actually start from here as an example of how things are done. A wonderful title, wonderful observation of the protocol, ending with ladies and gentlemen, a greeting, self introduction with the capacity given very well. Then the body talked about very well. As you had in a paragraph, please talk about that man Semakula, how he has done wonders and miracles for people, how he has saved lives. Remember, this function is entirely done to appreciate him. Then, in your subsequent paragraphs, you can talk about what has caused that. I had used to say that, and I love that. Then you talk about solutions, suggest things that people can do as patriots to make sure that this situation is alleviated or maybe completely removed or dealt with. Then give us your concluding slogan. I say all this for God and my country. Beautiful Uganda starts with us all, something like that. And you'll see how you present a wonderful, wonderful speech. Thank you so much, Julia. Please, all of us, let's work on our speeches. That is our take home from today's lesson. When you have a moment, write your speech down so that when we meet in the next lesson, we shall be having presentation after presentation after presentation to even help the people that have missed this lesson. Otherwise, I thank God that we have managed to meet and discuss format of a speech. I thank God for Julia and Trevor that have managed to give us a sample of what is required. I know sometimes we just need that first person, and then we start. So I thank you very much for being patient and staying online even for some 20 extra minutes. And that marks the end of today's lesson. We shall start exactly from there next time. I thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, madam.
Mm.